There's some that I think like when they talk about like the creation myths, and then there's like the first, they will say, well, the great buzzard and all of the buzzards that exist to this day are descendants of that great buzzard. That's symbolic to also a person who founds a nation. Indeed, anybody who is a descendant of that particular founder of that nation is just as that particular father, whether it's a physical birth or a spiritual birth or a mental birth. Like I always say, you can make children by either the semen or the sermon. You can make children, physical children, or you can make brain children by implanting your idea through speech. So it's either through the seed of the sermon or the seed of the semen that children are manifested. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. So it seems that even the Word has the power to make more children than even the semen. The semen has limitations. The Word and sound do not have the same limitations as semen, which is within a physical situation. So I say all of this to say that at first I was looking at the Cobo as being the totem, being my totem. But then I realized over the years I've been saying I am the Cobo. So I'm neither a person who is a Cobo Shaman per se, nor am I just limited to the Cobo being my totem. I am the Cobo. Maybe not literally in the physical sense that I sit on top of mountains and fly the highest, but it is in the figurative sense, and therefore I am the father of all the Cobo to follow after me. It took a lot of time for me to be confident enough in this particular situation to go all out with it. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, it took some of my brothers encouraging me to really present this in a certain way. Because the signs have been all over the place. I was watching an episode of Motown Magic, a cartoon. And it was, I think, the debut episode when he got the power of whatever, the mark or whatever. And he was the artist. It was his to create the world. And mind you, another connection. The Cobo is the buzzard. The great buzzard is the one who created my ancestral lands. Now, and I'm a creator. Now, he was going to everybody else and saying that they were the artists. He went to his sister, he went to his grandmother, he went to everybody under the sun except himself. And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is my story. You sometimes do not realize who you are. I mean, familiarity breeds contempt. And who are you most familiar with than yourself? You see yourself every day. Things you do that people might find miraculous and spectacular and super riffindous or whatever fucking word. You see it as everyday shit. It don't mean nothing to you. So everybody had to tell him when the whole world was going astray and asunder, and they needed the power of his particular pen or his particular mark or whatever it was that he was using as his utensil that only he could wield as that wand. Everybody was telling him, you are the artist. We believe in you. Everybody believed in him, but he had to believe in himself. And I think that it basically took 13 years for me to believe in myself. But it is an appropriate number because within the supreme alphabets, the 13th letter is M, which is master. So maybe it took the 13 years to master my path. And now I rise. The great buzzard. Cobo John Crow. Peace to the gods.